Hi, we got the Mini 3. We're out today at the waterfall. You can't see it because the camera's pointing the other way, but the Mini 3 will give you a shot. It's slightly overcast conditions, otherwise good to fly. Yeah, we just were excited to get it out, despite it not being quite sunny. It said it would brighten up, but it hasn't. It's sort of typical British weather at the moment, in and out of sunniness. But yeah, it looks pretty good. I haven't turned it on yet because I want to preserve the battery because we only got one. We didn't manage to get the Fly More kit this time, which seemed to be only exclusive to DJI. Yeah, it looks pretty good all round, sort of more similar to the design of the sort of bigger DJI drones now really than the Mini drone. It's sort of, yeah, it's a bit bigger overall footprint, but it's still good. I wish they'd come up with a little sort of you know, sort of cover to kind of keep the propellers steady, but they don't really go crazy. You know, when you kind of put it in a bag and it doesn't quite fit. We don't have a bag, so I use the Air 2S bag. One thing to note, this was a little bit tight getting the controller in there. You're getting a new controller with a built-in screen, so that's a new thing on this. If you buy the model with the screen with it, you can get it with the Mini 2 type controller, and you can also get it without a controller. So that's really good. So if you've already got one of these drones and you want to upgrade, you can continue to use the previous controller from the Mini 2 or the Air 2S or the Air 2, I think. So that's pretty good. That's a good feature. What's new about this one? It's got obstacle avoidance in the front. As you can see, the two sort of eyes looking at you. More of a bulldog look to it now than a shark look. I kind of like the shark look, but this is enables it to shoot upwards, so you'll get, you know, vertical shooting. You also get like the ability to switch into portrait as well, so by taking that notch out they've made it quite good. But anyway, obstacle avoidance sensors in the front, and then you've got two obstacle avoidance sensors behind, which look to the back, and I guess when it's tilted like that, get a good view of the back. You've got the traditional sort of, well, they're better downward sensors now, I think, so downward sensors as well, so no side sensors, so if you do any kind of sliding along, it's probably going to go into a tree. I'm expecting that on the Mastershots feature, which we'll try later. It probably won't support those sensors, it'll probably turn them off, so that's a thing. Yeah, and it's a little bit overcast today, so maybe we'll get a chance to see how good the 1/1.3 inch sensor, which is new to this drone. So that should be interesting because that's a better camera quality. It sort of brings it in line with the Zino Mini Pro. We'll do a follow-up video as well with that to see if we get good footage out of both of these. So see how it compares between the two. Because of course, although that's not as polished a drone, it is an option if you're looking on a budget, because it has all the obstacle avoidance as well. But anyway, yeah, so we've got the 249 gram battery in it. There will be a heavier battery available, but I've heard that that's only going to be in the US, not in Europe, but that may change, I don't know. That will take you over the weight limit as well for like a non-registered drone, or, you know, one that doesn't need badging. And yeah, so let's see how we get on. I mean, it has 48 megapixel photos now. It's got, yeah, the Mastershots feature, it's got time lapse. There's a few extra sort of nice social media style features added to this drone that give it a little bit more than what you get with the Mini 2. Mini 2 is still a great option. Right, so what we're going to do is turn this on. Put that down there. Okay, turn on the controller. I did activate it all earlier so that I know it's working. Because, you know, you can come out and then find that nothing works. One thing to note, when I charged this drone, I tried to use because it only comes with a short USB-C cable, like 50 centimeter cable, which is a bit of a pain, no charger. I tried my 20 watt iPad Pro charger and I got really weird light sequencing on the drone, which I'll sort of cut into this video. Hopefully you'll be able to see what I'm talking about, the difference between it. But it was kind of blipping on this one, and it wasn't, and it didn't do it on a lower sort of powered USB-A charger. And I also found that after several hours of charging this one with the USB-C iPad Pro charger, that it was still on 2 bars. And it wasn't really getting anywhere after hours and hours. So again, I switched to a lower charger and it seems to have been okay now. Maybe my charger at fault, may not be a big problem at all, but yeah, just one to potentially, I'd say an SD card speed low. I was a little bit worried about that just because I didn't have many SD cards kicking around, and let's see if it really does have a problem with that, because I do have probably a faster card about actually. So if I just have a quick look, because I brought the Mini 2 along with me as well, and I think I've put a faster SD card in that, so maybe we'll just switch out actually, but it's a lower size, so let's see if it's happier with this. Let's just quickly switch this out. See, these are the things when a new drone comes out, you know, you can often find that things don't quite go as planned when you first, you know, set everything up. So it's one thing to bear in mind. So right, I'll put that back in the Mini 2, bear with me a second. Okay, so if I just stick that in the Mini 2, because I know that that card has done well with the Mini 2. I just wanted a bigger SD card overall really, but let's see how we go. Right, so let's confirm. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually turn on the recording in here, because this is the weird thing with this. With this, I can now screen record. Yeah, so now I've got screen recording going on your little screen. So that's pretty good, isn't it? I mean, that's a really useful feature. So you don't need to carry your phone around with you. Right, I'm going to just check what the settings are. This drone can do 4K 60 now. But let's see what, by default it looks like it does 4K 30. So I wonder if we can find 4K 60. Let's have a look here. It's the first time I'm seeing this, so yeah, it doesn't seem to be there as an option, does it? I can't see it. I'm sure it's there. Ah, yeah, no, I remember. They moved it down here, didn't they? So you can switch it into 60 frames a second. To be honest with you, I want to sort of I want to take part in this video and compare it with another drone, the Mini. So I think we'll leave it in this, because you get HDR at 4K 30. So I'm not going to use the 4K 60. I don't think you really need it that much. So let's start the recording anyway on the drone. So let's see. Right, so it's started recording now. And now what we want to do is do a takeoff. There we go. So we've got it in normal speed mode. Well, I'll just bring it up for a little sort of look at it. Bring it up to the camera. Now, first thing we should find out is whether the obstacle avoidance is all working. Now, the one thing about the Zino Mini Pro was the obstacle avoidance didn't seem to work out of the box. Right, yeah, so look, there you go. So if I was going to fly towards me, it's not letting me go forward. It doesn't want to, yeah, it's holding. I'm pushing up and it will not come towards me. So the obstacle avoidance is working on the front. Let's turn it round to the back. And let's just see. Yeah, it will not come back, because I've got it set to brake. There's an option to bypass as well. I've got it set to brake, but yeah, it doesn't want to do it, so that's really good. But as you'll see, it quite happily would slide into you from the side, so be careful on the side still. Downwards, it will go up, so it knows something's beneath it. And the Mini 2 already had that. So did the Mini 1. A lot of the drones have that just so they know the floor's there when they're landing. But yeah, that all works. So let's bring it forward towards the camera. I don't want to use up the battery too much, because I want to try out as many of the features as possible really. We're saying they're saying a 34-minute flight time. I would be very suspicious about 34-minute flight time. Right, so it sees the camera as an issue at the moment. It's not liking the camera at all. Right, is it in autofocus? That's an interesting one, because it's looking quite blurry on the camera to me. I don't know if that's the case for you, but yeah, let's just have a look at that camera. Yeah, no, it's looking okay. It's just there's a bit of a bokeh effect, I think, with something in the background. Yes, that's quite nice, a bokeh effect, which a lot of people like. It's a very pleasing. So let's just try something. With that in mind, I can drop the camera, I can tap on the camera, and it brings the camera into focus, and it will sort of blur out the background a little bit. Now, it's probably not doing very well because the background's a bit sort of, you know, it's not gonna do it very well there. But I think if I went in between it, It would now pick up my focus, I think. Hang on, let's just, hang on, focus on me. I want to be careful, I don't want to, yeah, look, see how it suddenly sharpened when it had me? But now I reckon the camera might go blurry again. No, it's picking it up. But anyway, I sort of don't like that exposure lock thing. So how can you come off that a bit, really? Right, hang on. Let's just switch in out of a few things. Let's just sort of, because I want to get it back to stock, really. And there we go. I think it's on autofocus now. So it has picked up the camera as something to, yeah, it won't move back or forward because I'm in the way. So it's quite good, this obstacle avoidance. I'd say that's better than the Zino Mini Pro so far. So right, we're going to take it up. I'm going to have a look out over the waterfall here. So just drop it down. Smooth camera, gimbal. Seems pretty good. Pretty happy with that so far. Probably a little bit windier today than what I would have liked, but just go up about, do you know, it's looking very clear. I'm finding it very easy to see the screen. I'm liking this. 700 nit screen, sort of comparable to the RC Pro, but that one has 1000 nits. But you know, this is good value. This you know, this what you get in here. So this is, yeah, this is nice. Look, little sort of thing. Yeah, you can go up and down. Just want to take it round. I mean, this looks good. And also I found there's the other side zooms in. So I just want to have a look over. It's moving quite fast, I'd say, as well. Let's have a look down there. I'll probably go round a couple of times. I don't want to totally use up this battery, but yeah, just have a view of the pub. Now let's just see. Do you know, it is yawing round relatively smoothly. It's one thing I didn't really like about some of the other drones, that they just kind of yaw really quickly by default, and that annoys me a little bit because, you know, when do you want it? You want it smooth, don't you? So yeah, it is turning relatively well, and it is quite smooth. Now I don't know if that's because of this really good, say an insufficient SD card space, so that's interesting. Let's just go into the SD card. Is this on? No, I think that's good. Maybe it's to do with the screen recorder that's got it. No, I don't know. It's saying SD card full. So no, it's meant to switch to the yeah, okay, so that's really used the SD card up like instantly. So that is bizarre. What is it doing? So let me just hang on, let me just format that SD card because that doesn't seem right to me. So let's have a look here. Actually, where am I going into? It's caught me off guard a little bit here. So let's have a look. Maybe it's in camera. But yeah, that's really weird. It used up all the SD card, didn't it? Right, okay, so switch to that. Okay, and then no, let's do format. I want to do the SD card, so let's do format. I'm surprised that it used up that much so quickly, but it just shows you that you can't. Yeah, it's on 4K 30, and I would have got a lot of recording out of that with a Mini 2. So anyway, I want to bring it back towards me, so I'm just going to do a return to home, because that sort of caught me a bit off guard there, because that shouldn't be the case. Now, right, I'm going to bring it back, and I'm going to try it again, because that just didn't seem right. You know, it's like a bit weird here. So, but anyway, yeah, these are the things you encounter when you pull out a new drone and you sort of not used it before, and you don't know what the kind of issues are going to be. So it's well worth kind of preparing ahead, which I probably should have done. But I did test this drone earlier, and I did have everything running. So yeah, this is odd. So let's let it come back. Of course, we will have the screen recording available. So you know, I can sort of show you, you know, what happened, and I'll probably put a message on the screen. So if you're kind of wondering why, yeah, you weren't seeing exactly what I wanted to see, but let's get it back. We got 27 minutes flight time left. Hopefully that's enough to do some stuff. Let's get it back down, and let's just see. Right, it should be coming back down now. It's landing. Now, will it find its landing pad? Actually, this is quite an interesting one. But you do get this, you know, you do get this with, you know, whenever I've taken out a drone, I've sort of, it has behaved sort of funny. Right, hang on, so I'll cancel the landing if it doesn't look like it's going to land anywhere good. Nah, It wasn't going to land anywhere good, that. Right, okay, so it's back. I'm not going to land it completely, but I'm going to turn on the recording, right? Just quickly turn on the recording, and I want to go into where the SD card is, and it's saying 29.4 gigabytes available, 29.3. Now, maybe it's recording at a very high rate. I mean, that might be the thing. So hang on, let's just come out, turn off the recording, because maybe you can set the bit rate. Let's go down through here. No, doesn't look like it. So MP4 format, all that's all fine. Maybe set it to H.265, because that will probably improve it, because it should be like half the size. But yeah, I mean, I don't think there should be. I don't think it should be an issue like this, really. Let's just have a look through, just make sure there's no other settings. Control. Yeah, that is odd there. I'll go into the, it's in 30 frames a second high quality, which I think that's the automatic HDR. It's always got HDR on automatically. But I think this is why I like these sort of reviews, because we tend to show you as it is, rather than some other drone reviewers that kind of, they edit everything together and they kind of ignore all the potential issues that you might encounter. And not to say that, you know, that isn't necessarily a nice style of video, but yeah, you do get edited together. So we're going to go up and we're going to do it again, and we're just going to hope that we don't get, it's saying 46 minutes now. So maybe the SD card didn't format correctly, or maybe I didn't format the SD card. You know, it's very possible that it was a mistake by me, that I just didn't format. So, right, I'm going to go up, you know, 60 meters, and I want to remember 60 meters because I want to try this with the Zino Mini Pro. You know, I'm going to do a separate video, and I want to kind of compare this footage. So, yeah, I need to kind of try and get it to be similar. I'm just going to do like kind of a round, and then we'll try out the features. But yeah, it's, you know, this sort of day, you know, let's look at the horizon. Let's look down. I'm just going to go around. It's saying 11 minutes available for flight time, so has used up a lot of battery here. Has used up a lot of battery. So right, we're going to pan around, and then we're going to sort of go across here, and then we're going to come down round the canal here, and let's see how it's moving quite fast. So it's a fast little drone. You know, it seems to be pretty good. So we're going to go down here, and then we're going to look over the sort of canal area, and then, you know, I'll try and attempt to kind of do a similar thing with the Zino Mini Pro in the next video, and then we can sort of get that, you know, get that sort of view of it. But yeah, I mean, that's weird. The battery was suddenly at, like, it was saying 11 minutes, and then it was saying, you know, 22 minutes. It's going up and down a lot. So we're going to fly it back towards us, and then what we'll do is just over there, just fly it back towards us, and then we'll try out some of the features, the new features that you're getting. So it's just behind us there, we're down there. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to sort of, let's have a look at the features. So I want to do some tracking features first of all. So let's just bring it down towards us. But I want to try out the track. I want to get some of these features in before the one battery that we've got is gone. And it's a real pain, you know. It's a real pain about this sort of like not being able to get the fly more combo. You know, they've kind of decided this time to, you know, make it a separate feature. And that's a bit of a pain because, you know, in the past they didn't do that. They kind of, you had an option. So now what I think will happen is I can just draw a box around me straight away, right? And it'll sort of talk about, you know, what you should do, and, you know, obviously in a nice location that we haven't got, you know, like a nice boat. Okay, so we don't want that information. We're going to do active track, and then this is a feature you don't get on the Mini 2, and let's just see if that active track works. So I'll click go. So it's now tracking me, and you can see on the actual screen that it has got me in shot, and it's not saying anything about the obstacle avoidance not being available. But will it follow me if I run over here? Will it come towards me? Will it actually come towards me? And it's not coming towards me, is it? It's not moving in my way. So let's say parallel. Ah, yeah, unavailable, right? So subject too far. Well, hang on, let's see what happens now that I've done that. It's turning, but it's not sort of, hang on, so you can say parallel. Options, yeah, so it does tell you when the obstacle avoidance isn't available. So, right, so I want to go back to that. I want to trace parallel, then go. Right, now be careful, because this is the one without the obstacle avoidance. Now it is flying alongside me now. It is actually flying alongside me. So that's good, it moves along, it moves with you, basically. But will it come forward if I go up a hill, pick the right spot, basically? Will it come forward? Yes, it will move towards you. So yeah, we're getting good feet. Can you control the gimbal? Yes, you can control the gimbal while it works. So that's a feature you didn't get in the Mini 2, unless you want to install something like the Litchi app, which we haven't tried out actually with the Mini 2 yet, because it took a while for it to become compatible with it, which is sort of suspicious because the Mini 3 came out. Right, okay, point of interest. Now I want to sort of give it a bit of height maybe. Let's try and, hang on, it's because I'm sort of locked in on it. Let's give it a bit of height. Drop the camera down, just so we can be above stuff. Right, it's got me. It will keep doing that lovely video, unless you turn it off, of course. Right, obstacle avoidance now is unavailable. Now just keep an eye on those trees over there, just to the side there. But it looks like it's going round. It does a point of interest round you, and also I think if you move, it should keep you in the centre. So yes, it will move towards you. It will fly, and it will sort of work itself out again and come back towards you. Right, okay, so I'm going to stop that. And the great thing is, this is all be part of your video. It's all in the same video that you're filming. So that's pretty cool. So I'm going to come out of that. Now, with the other stuff, it won't be in your video. So you need to come out of that and you need to say, okay, I'm going to go into Mastershots. So what I'm going to do is focus on the things that we didn't get with the Mini 2 really. So I'm going to go into Mastershots, and now you draw a circle around yourself. Now I might go up a bit higher just because of things around us, and then what I want to do is I want to say, yeah, check subject, check that. Right, so now you click on start, right, and it's doing what it's saying. The width, tap to take master shot, which I did already. Okay, so now I'm going to be careful because there's trees and stuff around here. I don't know, it's not mentioned anything about obstacle avoidance that I saw. So it's now doing something, and the whole idea is it will kind of make a social media friendly video. It'll kind of be like, oh, I'm on a beach, or oh, look at me on top of a mountain. I'll fly around while I'm barely hanging on with my fingernails, sort of thing, you know, Tom Cruise style. Obviously we haven't got a mountain, we ain't got a beach, we ain't got any of that, so we can't do that. So basically we've got this area and you get but this may show off the camera. The camera quality may actually be tested by this sort of dank weather. It's not raining, let's be positive about something anyway. So, well, it's doing droney, it's doing a circle, it will do a bunch of maneuvers. Now these maneuvers you can kind of manually do with the quick shots. So there is options to do this sort of stuff without, you know, kind of doing the master shots, but this should cut it all together, and I think it will stick it in a video. One thing also to note, that with this, while it's doing that, with this being a screen, unlike your phone, you won't have internet connection unless you put a SIM card in it. And I did see that there were SIM slots in the operating system, so there must be slots for it, although I can't really see where they are, but there must be slots. Maybe they're in the handle or somewhere. There may be slots for it. I couldn't see. I wasn't expecting it to take SIM cards, but it means that your map doesn't, you know, you won't get a map. But what you can do, set your phone to personal hotspot or the like on Android, and then you should, it's doing okay, there's no obstructions around it, and it didn't say that it wouldn't. It's descending down onto me. I think it won't hit me. Right, so it's now done its thing. But anyway, like I say, the map won't show up with anything because you haven't got an internet connection. So if you've got personal hotspot or something like that, you know, share your internet connection on your phone, you can connect to its Wi-Fi, and then that solves the problem. So although you thought you weren't taking your phone out with you, you now have to take your phone out with you. But if you do get the Fly More combo when it's eventually available, I'm seeing mid-July, it could go in the bag. So you can put your phone in the bag. Right, okay, let's come out of that. Right, so let's have another look at what features we've got. I'm interested in the Hyperlapse. Now I think what we're going to have to do is we're probably going to have to come out of all this. We're probably going to go back into actually record a minute, because I don't think we can actually do it straight away. So I'm going to turn the drone. I'm going to pick up the camera, so it's sort of in the middle. Oh, one good thing about this drone, and I'll show it to you in a bit, is I'm going to go straight up. I want to sort of focus on the bridge area again, because there's sort of going to be traffic. Now I think this is what this feature's for. So if I go up and then I kind of put the camera down and we look at that traffic, let's just get up to, you know, decent sort of amount again. Right, so say 70 meters, yeah, that's pretty good. Right, now what we want is to come out of the camera. Right, that's good. Right, come out of that, come out of recording, go back into the Hyperlapse. Right, current level may be insufficient for, well, we're going to give it a go because we have to, really. Okay, so let's do it, and it's saying 6 minutes. So we're taking a risk with this Hyperlapse here, but it should, from what I understand, fly forward very slowly, and then all the traffic and everything below will look like it's sped up. That's the theory. Now let's see how it gets on. Is it doing it as a photo and then it kind of sticks it all together? I don't know, but I have set it to do it and we will find out what it does. Well, let's see how it gets on, because of course this is probably taxing the drone a bit more, but those are the kind of features that you're getting with this drone that you didn't get with the Mini 2. So you're getting that whole mad Mastershots thing, which we will show you what it looks like, presumably edit it into the video. We did that with the Air 2S and it was fine. But yeah, you're getting these sort of additional pro features, if you like. Now, if you just want a drone that flies around and gets good footage, you know, 4K 30, you can't really go wrong with the Mini 2. So if you are on a budget, the Mini 2 is a good option if you don't want to spend all this money. But the draw of this thing is this controller. Oh, hang on, I've hit oh, and there's 2 new buttons on the back, and you can accidentally hit them. So I don't think it's affected it, it's doing it. Hopefully we'll get enough battery power to show you what one of those buttons does. One of the buttons recenters the gimbal, and the other button turns it to vertical shooting. And vertical shooting is useful for, you know, like if you are doing TikTok videos, that kind of thing, where you need a kind of portrait, you know, like on Facebook, sometimes the videos are portrait, aren't they? And sometimes 16:9 is your traditional kind of video, which is normally what, you know, what we're filming in for YouTube now. So, you know, portrait shooting is what that's for. So it's doing this. I don't know what it's exactly doing, and I don't know how easily I'm going to be able to add this into the video. So I may have to do some sort of clever overlay later on where we add it in. So if it doesn't show now, or it hasn't shown, then don't worry about it. We will get it in there somewhere, either tagged on to the end or something like that. But we will get it. So it's doing everything. I mean, another thing, this could do 48 megapixel photos. I wonder if we'll get a chance to push the button on that. But we've managed to cover the obstacle avoidance, we've managed to cover the active track, and we've managed to cover, well, now the Hyperlapse and the Mastershots. So, you know, all these things, these are extra features that you just didn't get on the Mini 2. So these features take basically a video to add, you know, to add in. So, you know, we haven't even covered any of the features that the Mini 2 has, which is largely manual stuff from the Mastershot. So if you've got like circle, You've got the, you know, you've got all the panorama stuff that's in this as well. And you've got nice, you know, droney, that sort of stuff. All the standard sort of features are in the Mini too. So if you're just looking for a kind of nice, good quality photo or a good quality video, everything, you know, just for family holiday, something like that, something that you're not going to bump into anything because you haven't got the obstacle avoidance. Right, it's also returning home, even though it's sort of done, I think it has done the hyperlapse. If it hasn't done the hyperlapse, then I apologize now, because we're probably not going to find out because it's running out of power. Now, let's see, right, I'm going to cancel the landing just quickly. You shouldn't really do this, but let's just switch back into video a second. Yeah, I'm willing to take the risk for you. Right, now that's a nice actual shot here. Now, let me just show you what happens when you want to go into vertical video. Hang on, no, I want to cancel that. Cancel that, cancel. Right, so it wants me to return to home, but I'm willing to take a bit of a risk. I'm going to do a Dustin Dunhill here. Right, I want the true vertical shooting. No, that just brings it back down. Now maybe you've got to turn off the recording. Now let me just, right, we're going to turn off the recording and I'm going to press the C2 button. Yeah, there we go. And it switches into portrait view. So yeah, as you can see, for me it's not something that's particularly interesting unless you've got a TikTok account. So let's come out of that. Let's switch it back to the normal mode. It actually turns the camera. That's what it means by true. Right, now we're going to do a return to home. Now, one thing I'll say is, unless I haven't got it turned on, it doesn't seem to be any sort of way of landing without, like, can it pick up its, normally the DJI drones automatically pick up the drone pad. So the Air 2S could just land and it could pick it up. But I don't know if it's going to pick up its landing pad. I'm sort of half tempted to cancel because it's not really, it wasn't really going to land on the pad there. So hang on, let me just turn it round, bring it back a bit. Hang on, no, it's a little bit, it's quite nippy. Right, I'm going to bring it down. It's going to land on its pad, but I did that manually. And, you know, I think the issue is that, yeah, so it's critically low battery. So let's turn it off, I think. So turn off the recording. Always turn off the recording before you turn off the drone, or else you've got to kind of turn it back on and then. Right, so we've turned that off. It's coming off. We're completely fine on the screen. Now, I don't know what happened. It might go out of the app because it detects. But yeah, looking good, all working well. We couldn't bring it right up to the camera because it just would have flown straight into it. So it's doing quite well, seems pretty good. So yeah, the battery life there, I know we had a bit of a false start, obviously with the SD card. So maybe there's a little bit of a sort of, maybe you'll have a bit more battery than that. But yeah, you're gonna have to sort of work hard to get all your features done. If you're doing a video like this and you're trying to fit them all in, you're not gonna do it. So you need that Fly More combo. But like I said, it could be, you know, mid-July we're seeing. I thought I looked on the US site and it looked like it was mid-August. I could be wrong on that, so don't hold me to it. But when I was looking around at the prices and stuff, I thought I saw mid-August, but it could be the drone. So the Fly More kit's £159 in the UK, and this drone I got for £859, and that came with a controller. Of course, there are options without the controller, and there are options with the Mini 2 controller, which also would be, you know, it's a perfectly good experience. This is just a little bit more, I don't know, quite like it. It's very, very good. Right, so we put the drone back down. But yeah, you know, just some weirdities with it where I've had, like with my charger, they didn't charge that well. So, you know, that's just something that I know. I've never had a problem with other chargers charging DJI drones before, so I was a bit surprised by that. So, you know, normally it'll just do it faster. I've tried a Skydio 2 charger before. I've tried a iPad Pro charger. I mean, when you've got like 3 or 4 drones kind of charging it all at the same time, you need to kind of have lots of chargers knocking around, and you'll kind of throw them into any one that is a USB. The downside is you get a USB-C cable with it. So USB-C to USB-C. So if you don't have a USB-C charger knocking around, you need a USB-A to USB-C, if you like, charging cable, and then you need a USB-A charger obviously to plug that into. So just bear that in mind, that you may have to buy something else. You may not just be able to use this out of the box. But if you've got a laptop with a USB-C port, that kind of thing, you might be able to just plug that in and charge it, and it is what it is. I mean, if you're only wanting just a quick fly around, do you need both batteries? I don't know. But, you know, sorry, 3 batteries you get with Flymore kit. Well, you get 2 with the Flymore kit, and then there's 1 already with this. So yeah, all in all, a nice experience. Again, quite polished, you know, everything's working as it should be. I think I didn't format the SD card. I think that was my fault. I get the feeling I just put it in, I didn't format it. So that may, you know, when I look back at the footage, I'll probably know that I did make that mistake. But yeah, you know, very similar to other DJI drones that we've got out in the past. They just kind of go up, fly around, do what they're supposed to do, and they're pretty good. And the obstacle avoidance seemed very good on this. You know, it was keeping a good distance from me, and it was keeping a good distance from the camera. It picked up the camera as an obstacle. I did that with the Zino Mini Pro, and it did have the ability to do it, but it wasn't quite, like, it wasn't calibrated, and it was very difficult how to calibrate it, and you had to kind of force open it. And then I've even tried it since, and it still wasn't working. So a little bit hit or miss, a little bit, you know, not kind of working properly, whereas this, working perfectly, everything doing everything it should do. So yeah, so really happy with that. Hopefully I've covered everything about this drone, you know, except for the Flymore combo. The annoying thing as well, without the Flymore combo, you don't really get a bag to put it in. I use my Air 2S bag, which I find to be slightly bigger than the Mini 2 bag, the DJI one. That I did kind of find that this was a snug fit. This was a bit of a snug fit, this controller. So I don't know if the bag that comes with the Flymore combo is going to be slightly bigger. I mean, it all fitted, don't get me wrong. It just was a little bit snug. And that's an Air 2S case. So, you know, the DJI bag. So yeah, so let's see what comes with the Flymore combo when we finally get it. But yeah, thanks very much for watching that. I'm going to do a comparison video with the Zino Mini Pro, see how the cameras kind of compare, see if we can put the footage side by side. But yeah, thanks very much for watching. We'll see you again in the next one.